What is good, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I'm going to break down what's going on with Tesla SPY and a couple of other tickers. I'm going to break down what Jerome Powell caused for the markets that could lead to more upside as time goes on, and also why on earth the market's getting very excited after Jerome Powell's speech. Before I break into all this information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. I am firstly not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire Tesla community as a whole. So, anyways, looking at Tesla, I warned you guys in the morning to watch support on Tesla. If we close below 230, I would turn more bearish on the stock. If this thing managed to hold up after Jerome Powell's speech, we could still see some upside potential. We're talking about this support right over here on Tesla, which Tesla managed to hold. We didn't end up breaking below it. I was talking about this support very carefully. Also, the 4-hour 200 EMA, also the daily 200 EMA around that 230 area. We managed to hold above our EMAs. We got back above them, and now Tesla's trying to hold up quite decently. So the question is, why did the market pump the way it did? What did Jerome Powell do? Why on earth could the market now see more upside thanks to that? And why have a lot of these bearish signals been invalidated by Jerome Powell in a very unexpected manner? So I'm going to break down all of this over the next couple of minutes on the charts. Let's first talk about the Fed, what Jerome Powell said, and what's going on with the markets. So, going back, Jerome Powell basically said that any talks about cutting rates is premature. The Fed can't determine that yet, but he did hint at March 2024 being a time in which one cut could happen, but not a guarantee. He also mentioned that more hikes are on the table if we get the economic data that suggests that. And he said right now, the Fed has no plans to raise rates again. He implied that the Fed is going to be done with raising rates. We're not going to see that happen again, at least for the rest of the year. Then he started talking about the soft landing. He mentioned that so far, there hasn't really been that much contraction, that much pain in the labor markets. This is getting a lot of investors excited, right? This got many investors excited. He implied that the Fed may not be raising rates again as well. If you look at this specifically, you will see right here, he mentioned that there are many different things out there that are suggesting that inflation is cooling off. There is progress being made. The Fed is going to continue to monitor the situation, but the Fed may be done with the rate hikes. They may be done for now if we continue to maintain some decent data. We have CPI coming out before the FOMC meeting for December, so we'll see what that causes. But so far, there's nothing that is going to like convince the Fed to like raise rates in a very, I would say, overwhelming manner. As of right now, there's nothing like that, and this got the market very excited. Also, Jerome Powell was talking less about like hiking rates and more about like sort of like pausing, and he was starting to actually mention cutting rates soon as a possibility. And this got the market super hyped. And then something changed in our Fed monitor tool. So the Fed was basically there was like an 80 something percent chance that the Fed would raise rates again, or sorry, not raise rates again. They would pause, an 80% chance that they would pause, and a very small chance that they would raise rates by 20%. And now there's a 97% chance they're going to pause. So it went from 80 to 97%. The market is extremely confident that the Fed is going to pause. They're pricing that in, and the market is trying to celebrate at the end of the year. So we got this big shift thanks to Jerome Powell. The market is continuing to rally. The market is very excited. And now we're starting to see the fear and greed index is still holding up on greedy, and we're getting closer to the extreme levels now. So we're not at extreme greed yet, which suggests that there could be some more upside coming. Some indicators are at extremes, but other ones are still at greed. And despite all of this, despite how crazy the market has been without getting much of a pullback after all the rallying we've been doing, there is still potential for upside now thanks to Jerome Powell opening the gate for more and more fuel. Looking at the current trend, the fear and not the fear and greed, the put and call options positioning is at to this extreme greed level, but there's been a time where it dropped a little bit more, which was 0.67 before we got the bounce, before the market started to top. So we'll be watching that very carefully. As far as Tesla goes, the short volume is going crazy on Tesla. We're seeing more shorting as the days go on. We're seeing more off-lead exchange volume too. And the shorts are just going crazy on Tesla again. We're seeing millions of Tesla shares being shorted on a day-to-day basis. And we're continuing to see this throughout the markets. With the Cybertruck coming out, there was a lot of hype associated with the event. I told you all that Tesla would pump approaching the event. Then I told you that after the event ends, we're going to likely see Tesla get a rug pull. I was correct about all of that. But what I wasn't correct about was I was thinking that there could be like a sell off coming in December. We had a lot of signals that suggested that. And instead, Jerome Powell has ended up coming and he caused many of those signals to get invalidated. So if I am bullish in the markets, hypothetically, right? Hypothetically, right? Uh, and all of a sudden, there's a new pandemic, there's something new that happens. I could completely switch my analysis in a day if we get an interference, if something completely different or unexpected happens. Sometimes that happens, guys. Sometimes it's unfortunate. It doesn't happen all the time. And this time around, we saw something very similar happen. I told you all that Tesla could drop more, but I would not turn bearish unless we broke 230 and closed below it. It did not do that. So Tesla's still decent. The 4 hour time frame of SPY was looking a little bearish. Let me just go to the daily and show you what I was talking about. One thing worth noting is that when you look at the charts like this, you could see that this thing was about to get a bearish crossover on the PPO. We got this big rejection off 458. We had bearish divergences, and the market looked like it was going to turn. The market makers knew that you and I were seeing this. They knew retail were looking at these signals. They knew we were about to get a bearish crossover on the PPO. They knew that we're looking at the weekly charts and we were thinking that, hey, it's pumping, it's pumping, it's pumping. There is no pullback, no significant pullback on SPY, and retail started shorting as a result of that. They knew everything. And what did they do? Somehow, I don't know if Jerome Powell's, you know, with them on this. I don't know if he's, a part of all of this. I'm just trying to like not say anything that's like part of a conspiracy theory. You guys know the answer, but I'm just like saying, whatever Jerome Powell's intent is, he benefited the shorts, not the shorts, the market makers who are against the shorts, and he caused a short squeeze. Okay, this worked in the market makers' favor. It's all part of their game. It's their playground, and they came out on top again, tricking as many retail investors as possible. So, guys, I just want to say, I'm just trying to read the charts and show you what they're suggesting. Yesterday, the charts were suggesting that there was downside coming. And now Jerome Powell has come in and he caused something unexpected. And we saw SPY break the highs from July. We broke the high we made previously. And there's no sign of this stopping. And we just got a weekly bullish cross in the PPO. So a lot of those sell signals have been invalidated. And now we're starting to see the bulls stepping in. So we were about to get a bearish cross on the PPO here, the MACD. Instead, we're pushing up higher again. And the market's showing no signs of dropping or cooling off just yet, as Jerome Powell has given more and more and more fuel to the fire. It's just insane. With that being said, could the market keep going? We have to watch 460 on SPY. If we break 460, yes, this thing is going to be squeezing even more. If we fail to break 460, then we could pull back a little bit back down towards like 458, but we'll just have to see. I want to call out that there's a lot of manipulation, there's a lot of trickery, and we have a really nice looking cup and handle like formation on SPY. If we break 460, the next level is going to be 467. We need to see that break first. Guys, I'm very sorry that I sometimes have to flip flop because of Jerome Powell and what just happened, but I do the best I can, and I'm just reading the charts. People make jokes in the comments. They say things like, do the opposite of what I say. Well, if you did the opposite of what I said, you would have been very red on Tesla, because I did call Tesla pumping approaching the Cybertruck event, then pulling back a bit after it. That was correct. So I'm not always wrong. Sometimes I do make mistakes and I'm a human. But I just want to make it clear, sometimes unexpected things can happen, especially because of Jerome Powell. And all I can do as a trader is adapt, adjust, and learn from my mistakes and grow. So with that being said, what do I see for the charts? SPY looks bullish. It's continuing to break out, trying to push. We might see more upside as time goes on. Uh, Make sure you watch 460. If we break that, this thing can push even higher. I'm going to talk more about these levels later on, but I just want to call out that there's potential for it. What about for Tesla? What's going on with Tesla? Tesla, in my opinion, looks bullish now. I'm going to delete this for now. I'm going to talk more about that tomorrow once again. Because first off, we held 230. I was talking about that yesterday. I was talking about that today. We had to hold 230. I told you to watch and see what Jerome Powell causes. It's a big day. Today was a big day, guys. It's not just clickbait. It's a big day because Jerome Powell has given confirmation for the bulls that there is potential for them and the market could still go higher despite how much it pumped already. So with that being said, I drew this out on Tesla. It's very simple, okay? This blue resistance is our resistance. If we break that, we're going to turn bullish. We also have support right here at where this trend line happens to be, forming this wedge. We could change the color to white so it's easy to distinguish these three different areas. The white trend line is our support. We ping-ponged off of it on Tesla again and again and again, and Tesla's trying to push higher and higher and higher. It's on an uptrend. Now, if we lost this, because we tested the trend line today, if we lost 230, Tesla would have sunken all the way down to the 223 gap fill. Instead, Tesla held it, and Jerome Powell helped Tesla pump and hold up with the markets. So thank you, Jerome Powell, for helping the bulls, to help squeeze more of those shorts. We have an inverse head and shoulders on Tesla. The chart is looking bullish, and it looks like it's trying to bounce now. So make sure you watch. I'm going to bring back these levels later on. I just want to focus on 242 on Tesla. If you get above 242, watch this thing try to push up towards this resistance trend line for the next couple of days, close to 250. If we break this, the next trend line is going to be around 255, which is where we have this orange resistance. If that breaks, we're going to be flying to basically 260. It looks bullish, guys. Tesla looks like it could bounce right here. There's definitely opportunity, but make sure you watch this resistance. I think there's going to be more upside coming. I'm going to talk more about the levels in a later video, but I want to call out some other things. On Nvidia stock, I still have the levels kind of like drawn out, but you will notice that Nvidia is holding up quite nicely. I warned you to watch our EMA as support, the 200 EMA, and Nvidia held that. So now there is some potential for Nvidia to try to bounce, and Jerome Powell is the guy to thank for that. Why? There's a bullish divergence forming. We held the 4-hour 200 EMA. If we hold this, look for a balance towards that 474 area. If that breaks, look at the imbalance around 480. If those break, Nvidia is going to be bullish. If we lose 463, we're going to turn more bearish. We're going to see this thing start sinking towards 459. As of right now, with the bullish divergence, Nvidia looks like it might try to fill this imbalance and try to bounce back up to 474. However, I'm not extremely convinced yet. We need to see how it reacts to this support. But with the market showing some life and Jerome Powell pumping the markets again, adding so much more potential, which is just insane. It is what it is. We have to accept it. We have to adjust. We have to adapt. All right. So Nvidia has potential to bounce now. Watch the support. If we hold support, we could see it try to make its way back up to the 20 EMA. Then we have this imbalance to fill at 480. I just want to call out just a couple more before I end the video, trying to be a little quick. The VIX was trying to break out. Look at this trap that they set on the VIX. If you look at the VIX, it was trying to break out. If you look at it, it wanted to break out. Many people were saying the VIX is getting ready. I thought the VIX was about to break out. If you look at the 4-hour PPO, it was so close, only to get rejected today. It got a big rejection and it started selling right back down. This is manipulation. They were tricking us. They wanted us to turn bearish. Instead, they gave us the opposite. Look at the SQQQ. This thing was about to get a bullish breakout. Same thing. It was so close, so close. It got the breakout yesterday. It was trying, only to get smacked back down. And we're about to get a bearish cross on the PPO. It's all just manipulation. They're trying to trick you. This was a trap yesterday. It's all manipulation. The dollar was about to break out too. You guys can see this breakout that was starting to form on the dollar. The dollar was at resistance. What happened? It got a big rejection, forming a bearish divergence, coming back down. It looks bearish now because the market is turning bullish. Crazy, crazy stuff in the markets. It's all manipulation. Two more stocks before I end the video. How about the QQQ? The QQQ is still looking a little bit weaker than SPY. Even though it closed green, the daily chart is about to get a bearish cross on the PPO, but it's trying to bounce and the daily candlestick looks bullish. If it breaks 394, we need to break that high. We could see the QQQ push up for 400. They could try to just trap shorts again. There's so much manipulation, and Nvidia bouncing could be the key to that. If it breaks 394, you turn bullish. 400 is coming. If we fail to break that, watch 388 as key support. Right now, it's kind of like indecisive. There could be an attempt to get to 391 at least. We'll see if that breaks. Not looking as strong as SPY, but there is some potential. On Apple, we were very close to a bearish crossover on the PPO, only for them to trick more investors. So much manipulation, guys. It's insane. Let me show you something. We're just going to accept it. Apple got a nice wick right here trying to push back up. Watch 192 as resistance. I just want to call out that on Apple, on the daily chart, okay? Look at this, guys. Look how crazy this is. Let's go back here. Look at the chart. We had a head and shoulders like structure. I'm going to try to hide the last candle. So we have like a left shoulder here, the head, the right shoulder forming. We got a bearish crossover on the PPO. telling me this chart didn't look bearish, right? It looked like it was going to come back down. It looked like it was going to test our EMA, only for them to launch it right back up, right as we got the bearish PPO crossover. It's manipulation. They're trying to trick us. They're trying to fool as many investors as possible. It's all part of their game. But right now, there's no sign of Apple collapsing. It's trying to push up higher, so we'll be watching this going into next week. All right, guys. So I think there's a chance Tesla could explode and make a very, very nice move to the upside. It's holding its EMAs nicely. It's holding its support. I wouldn't be surprised if it tries to make its way back up to 250 plus soon. But watch your levels just to be safe. Make sure you watch and see how Tesla moves. And just know that the chart is not necessarily a dead cat in the water. It's a very shorted stock. And a lot of these market makers may try to squeeze shorts. So just be very, very careful. All right. That's it for this one. Guys, I understand your pain, your frustration. I understand why you're just like, you may be feeling resent towards me. That's completely okay. I understand. But you have to understand that I'm simply trying to be unbiased and look at the charts. The charts were looking bearish temporarily. Jerome Powell came in unexpectedly. He caused this big, big, big turnaround, and there wasn't really any way I could just like have made a call like that. I also had my own biases because I just saw the market pump and pump and pump and pump with almost no downside. So when it happens, it is what it is. When things like this happen, all we can do is just accept it, read the trend. The market's trying to push up higher. Let's accept it. Let's watch and see if we get a break, and let's just recover from this no matter what. Okay? So honestly, guys, this is just part of trading. There are going to be losses, there are going to be mistakes, there are going to be times where your technical analysis could be wrong. But as long as you manage risks, as long as you never give up, we could still be very, very good traders. Don't forget, guys, no matter what you see in the comments, okay, I told you approaching the Cybertruck event, Tesla should pump. Then I told you that after the event, we should see some downside. I called the levels too, almost to a T. And then I also told you guys that if we lost 230, I'd turn bearish. If we held it, there's still potential for it to bounce and to watch the support. We held support. Tesla could bounce. I don't think that I was wrong on Tesla. I was wrong about SPY and the potential pullback that could have been coming, but that's because at the time I'd recorded those previous videos, that's what the charts suggested. Things completely flipped, just like how new news could come that changes the market's direction. That's a part of trading. That is natural. And I can only do so much since I'm not truly a fortune teller. But with that being said, let's just adjust. Let's adapt. Let's never give up. Let's keep our heads up and let's do much better next week. We're going to make a strong comeback. We're going to be making more money and we're going to do much, much, much better. Okay. All right. So thank you for listening. Have an absolutely spectacular weekend. Brush it off, guys. We'll come back much stronger. And I'll see you guys very, very soon. Thank you. Tesla to the moon because the long term is very bright. And peace out.